All right, so coming up next is Karen Magnuson. She's going to talk about the collaborative that I think has the coolest acronym, Naimai Sojo. And she'll tell you what that means.
Naimai Sojo means the New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative. And a shout out to all of my buddies at the Solutions Journalism Network who are here today. Okay, so Steph, do I push this little green button here, or how's that?
If you go up there, he'll tell you.
Okay, 1 minute, he says, right? No?
Press it again.
Press it?
There you go. You see your confidence monitor in front of you, Karen? It's right there.
Got it. Okay, thanks. You have to explain to these print people what's going on. But okay, so the New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative is shining a spotlight on an undercovered topic with a solutions lens: challenges faced by caregivers of older adults. This unique interstate partnership of 19 news organizations and 5 community partners is raising awareness and fostering community conversation. During the Collaborative's first year in 2021, members used interviews, virtual forums, and national research to identify story ideas, but they still wondered, are we tackling the most important problems for local caregivers? Are we uncovering the most relevant solutions? Family caregivers are often tough to reach because they're so darn busy. There are language and cultural barriers. Some don't consume legacy media. Imagine that. Others lack access to broadband at home. Many don't even self-identify as caregivers. They see it as a given that they would take care of a friend or a loved one and are unaware of caregiving services. So the collaborative pursued additional funding to dig deeper into these questions and hired 3 part-time support staff: an emerging audience editor, a data coordinator, and a project editor. The collaborative engaged thousands of caregivers and others interested in caregiving through the research interviews and 10 engagement initiatives. And those initiatives included 4 in-person events, 3 virtual forums, a scientific poll, and an experiment with WhatsApp to reach Spanish-speaking caregivers. One of the most effective tools, however, is something that we highly recommend for all collaboratives, and that's a panel of advisors composed of people on the front lines of the issue that you're covering. The collaborative formed a 10-member council to critique coverage and propose story ideas. Council members received links to stories to review before each meeting. Discussions revolved around whether the stories were relevant and what could be done to make them even more helpful. The collaborative learned a lot from the experience and offers these 3 tips. Oh, I think I need to go. There we go. Thank you. The first tip is make sure that people in your advisory group represent the people hardest hit by the topic that you're covering. Women of color are disproportionately affected by caregiving challenges. The Caregiving Advisory Council had 8 women and 2 men, 5 members Black, African American, 3 Latinas, 1 American of Chinese descent, and 1 Caucasian. Second, be sensitive about how much time you're asking people to devote to advisory council meetings. Our collaborative decided to keep most meetings to an hour via Zoom about once a month. Council service was limited to 8 months. Third, consider offering an honorarium for their time. Members of the council were paid $100 for each virtual or in-person gathering. Meetings were well attended, but if somebody had to cancel because of an emergency, they had the option of following up with a facilitator. Council members, next slide. There we go. Whoops. Back one, please. Thank you. Council members shared important insights on emerging needs during the pandemic. Among other things, caregivers talked about growing challenges to their mental health and finances. The feedback prompted the collaborative to conduct this scientific poll of 1,000 local caregivers to learn more. The collaborative also partnered with the Journalism Collaborative focused on covering mental health. Together, they produced a special project about the mental health of caregivers. Shout out to Southwest Michigan Journalism Collaborative. Next, here we go. To next slide, here we go. I don't know what, There we go. Council members provided helpful feedback for an online caregiver resource guide. The amount of information in the prototype was overwhelming, they said, and their ideas prompted changes in curation and navigation. They also contributed to the collaborative's thinking behind a coverage style guide to help journalists avoid ageist language. Research commissioned by the Solutions Journalism Network shows that the collaborative also built more trust between journalists and the people they aspired to serve. Surveys conducted at the beginning and end of council service showed greater engagement with collaborative content, with more members sharing collaborative stories with friends or family. More council members changed a personal behavior or belief as a result of the experience. For example, half said they expected to stay in touch with local journalists after their council term ended. These two quotes capture the spirit of how they felt. I was honored to know that our views were respected and hopefully will make a difference. And the experience was very helpful and motivating, looking to move forward even more with being informed and evolved. The research also includes suggestions for how to improve future engagement efforts, including conducting a survey of reporters to measure attitudinal change. Researcher Carolyn Porter concluded that when combined with other engagement tools, a community council can serve as a critical person-to-person connection to help ground journalism in serving the needs of a targeted audience. And then here's where to go for more information. Please check out the New York and Michigan Solutions Journalism Collaborative at naimaisojo.com. But also, here's a short link to the research. And also, look out for a story that was published by the Solutions Journalism Collaborative just last night that I know is being cross-promoted by our friends here at the Center for Cooperative Media. Thanks so much for your time. Go Collaboratives.